all finds its way into the cab. So
what's up, guys? We're here with my buddy Chris. This is KUYA. KUYA, go ahead and introduce yourself.
how's it going? I'm Chris Quizon. People call me KUYA. This is my 1991 Nissan 240 SX.
Nice. How long have you owned it for?
I've had this thing since 2019. Built it throughout COVID, and over the years, it's progressed to what it is today.
It's a beautiful car for sure. You know how much money you put into it, roughly?
So when I finished it the first time, I did the math. I used to do the whole YouTube thing, so I wanted to have it all. It was about 30 grand.
Okay.
And that was 3 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Over the years, things have changed. I've added a lot more stuff into it.
Of course.
So I stopped counting after that. It hurt a little too much.
It's hurting, right? It's hurting.
Yeah.
I get that.
Well, it's 1.5 JZ with the E36 M3 ZF trans.
Okay.
The 5-speed. Basic stuff, single turbo, 1000cc injectors, and it makes about 450 to the wheels.
Okay.
I hate to say it, but with today's day, it's a pretty basic setup.
It's a beautiful setup, though, nonetheless.
So I like to call it a small big turbo. It's quite small for a 3-liter, but my spool is instant. I think I hit full boost at like 3,200 RPM.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good for JZ.
Did the tube front. DefWorks did all the fab work in this car. Went through a bunch of iterations of it. The tube front came with the last big crash that we had.
It looks badass. You did a great job on it. So you said it makes
450 horsepower, 460 torque.
And who tuned it?
Unrivaled Tuning, Danny. We work in the same shop.
Okay.
So how our work works is like people come to Rival Autoworks, us. We build the car, and then once we're done doing our thing, we send it 2 feet down to Danny, and he does all the tuning, and it's like a one-stop shop.
Cool. Yeah, I'll plug his stuff. They do a lot of good work down there. They're always doing some badass cars over there. So, So tell me about your suspension setup. What do you got going for front suspension?
For front suspension, we have a Rival knuckle angle kit. We have Apex lower control arms, Apex coilovers, and it's just a pretty basic cut knuckle setup.
How's it been treating you?
It's been 4 years and I've never had a problem.
Hell yeah. Keep it simple, right? Cool.
Simpler the better. When things break, it's easy to fix.
Right.
You can just buy it off the shelf.
What kind of turbo is this?
It's a BorgWarner 257 SXE.
Okay. Hot side looks huge because of that turbo blanket.
Oh yeah, no, the hot side is huge. Okay. So like I said, it's a small big turbo.
Yeah.
So in order to get the 3-liter to breathe a little bit better, we had to do, I think this is like a 1.0 or 0.8 something AR. To hopefully keep it from boost creeping.
Who did the downpipe and the exhaust work?
So the downpipe is actually, it's a mix of myself and DefWorks.
Okay.
I took a bunch of tubing and I cut pie cuts with the angle grinder and mocked it all up and said, hey Jake, weld this together. The exhaust is a 4-inch oval from the downpipe all the way back. It recently just broke. It used to be dual 4-inch ovals in the back, but we just broke it at the last event, and I'll send some videos so you can have that clip.
Hell yeah, that sounds good. What are you doing for cooling? How do you keep this thing cool?
So the best thing I've had for cooling so far is this KUYA setup. these Dural Shroud, and it's actually a Spall fan. So it's a Dural product, but they give it to you with Spall fans.
Okay.
As you can see, it's really tight in there.
It looks tight. Yeah, obviously being a JZ and a 240, I already have limited room, but damn. Okay. It's been treating you right.
It's been treating me right. It
Does it
still
ever
gets
get hot?
hot.
Okay, it does a little
It's a
bit.
JZ. It'll get hot, but the cool thing about this system is it cools down now.
Okay.
Before it would not cool down.
Okay. So like at Apple Valley Speedway, when you're doing like a minute lap around the course, are you able to go a second lap, or do you have to cool down after the first lap?
On a hot day, I can do 2 laps.
Okay.
And then after that, I'll do like 1 or 2 cool downs.
Yeah.
And it does better.
Okay.
It cools down back to like 190.
Nice.
If it's really bad, I do have a big water tank in the back. And if you look here, there's little nozzles, and it sprays my radiator and my coolers and keeps it a little bit cooler.
Nice. A pretty thick old intercooler down here.
That's forget the brand, but it's a 4.5-inch core treadstone. That's what it is.
Okay. Yep.
With our experience, the bigger the intercooler, the better. There's this like talk about, oh, if you have a big intercooler, there's like a bunch of boost lag. It's really not the case. Like the bigger the intercooler, the colder your intake air temps, the better everything will run.
I get that. That makes sense to me. What's this guy right here?
That is my coolant overflow.
Okay.
So if you look, part of the cooling system is, as you can see, there's no radiator cap. That only got cut off because of clearance issues. Everything is moved so far forward. But I have the top of the tanks routed to a swirl pot.
Nice.
So it's constantly bleeding, getting all the air out of the system. But that also needs a pressure relief. So if it does get a little too hot, it'll open that cap up and vent into the overflow.
Nice. That's really cool. This guy over here.
That guy, which one? This one?
Yeah.
That's power steering.
Okay.
It's the basic reservoir. Goes to my cooler. We have a few changes. We're gonna do the power steering system, but I gotta keep that a little secret. I was asked not to share that. But I guess we have finally ran into some issues. I think I finally burnt out the power steering pump.
Okay.
It's a known problem with JZs and 240s, but it's been 4 years for me, and this is the first time I've had a problem. So I think it's just about time. It is an old pump.
Just some maintenance, right? Just some maintenance. Okay.
It's been good to me, so I think it's time I start showing it a little bit of love.
I get that. Are these KUYA rad coolers for oil, or I mean your engine oil or your power steering?
So the KUYA rad cooler is for the oil, and then that one's some China eBay cooler, but that one's for the power steering.
Okay.
Similar size. I don't have like sensors for temperature, so I don't know what's doing better, but it seems to work.
Hey, if it works, it works, right?
Exactly.
So what fuel is this thing on?
This thing is on race gas 101 from VP Racing, 101 100.
Okay, hell yeah. And what injectors and fuel pump and stuff like that? What do you
have? A Walbro 450 starting from the back, and it's just a stock fuel line going to the front.
Okay.
And it's going to radium rail with ID 1050X injectors.
Okay.
And originally we had it tuned on pump gas, same exact setup, and it made 350, very safe, very conservative. And my boss, Jason Kim, actually needed to borrow my car for a gear wrench competition. So in order for him to do that, he was like, hey, I need more power. Let's tune it on race gas. So I drained the tank, did not change anything with the setup, put 100 octane in it, tuned it, and it made from 350, 450.
Nice. Holy crap.
It's crazy what good fuel will do.
For sure. No, I definitely have my fair share of that experience with just with the 85. You know, I've definitely had some good horsepower gains in the past, but that's cool to see on this thing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a clean bay. Tell me about this guy right here.
So that is my windshield wiper motor.
Okay.
If you have ever seen one that's not nice and painted, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like cleaning it up. I wanted it to be a little bit different. So I found out a 12-ounce Red Bull can fit perfectly over it without cutting the can or anything. So I just chopped the bottom off, slid it over. Now it gives it a little bit of uniqueness.
Cool.
I made a little like heat shield for my downpipe.
See that.
My harness runs right behind that along with my boost controller. So I figured put a little shield right there to keep heat away from some things.
Yeah. I see you have a kill switch over here. Obviously you have to.
Kill switch over there. It's not necessary for anything I'm doing now, but I do want to compete. maybe next year, if not in 2026. So I'm just slowly adding things that I need to. I think the rule right now is it needs to be on the driver's side.
Okay. Is that what that?
That's what this is.
Okay.
So you guys saw the main kill switch right there.
Yep.
It's the only place I can fit it, like under the dash in the cowl and whatnot. So what I did was I have this cable system which leads right here. So if I pull this, it pulls a cable which turns off the switch over there.
Cool. Tell me about these stickers on the windshield. What's up with these stickers?
So we have 511 Auto Transport. That's my personal company.
Hit
I
'em
do
up.
towing on the side. I can do 2 cars. I have a 2-car trailer or a single car. I'll tow cars. I'll tow trucks. I'll even move your furniture, whatever you need.
Okay.
Slightly modified, the big sticker in the front. That's a group of me and all my friends. We started back in high school in this exact parking lot, actually, doing little stuff. We used to call it Mexico. The borders have changed since then, so now we're in Torrance. But it started off as a group of guys just loved cars and was hanging out, and it's turned into, for lack of cheesiness, it's turned into a family.
Yeah.
We all do everything together. We even have matching tattoos.
Cool. It's 3 or 4 of you guys, right?
There's 4 of us with the tattoo, I believe.
Cool.
Rival Auto Works, that's my job, my boss, my business partner. He does a lot for me, my biggest sponsor, I should say. And the rest of them is just tech stickers.
Cool. Yeah, Jason's a good guy. He's really knowledgeable. He's been around for a while. He's a great driver for sure.
I guess if
Got
you
your bike racing number over here, 511.
got my bike racing sticker.
Park Fest stickers.
Everyone always asks about the 511. That's actually my dad's birthday, so that's
cool.
what inspired me working hard with that number.
Yeah.
Got a bunch of the buddies, Angel, Abe, and obviously myself.
Yep.
We got the Apex in the shop that we work at. DevWorks, like I said, he did all the fab work in this car. Rival Auto Works, B-Side Fabrication. He's done a few little things. He's a good buddy of mine, and he's too busy to work on my car. He's too cool for me. So.
He does some cool shit for sure.
And obviously Unrivaled Tuning tunes everything. And a bunch more tech stickers, and you gotta shout out Mikey, dude.
Yep.
Mikey's the guy. Oh, and I almost forgot about this. I recently partnered with Mob Armor.
Okay.
So we're rocking their stickers. We're working on doing a livery. And if you take a look on the inside, you can see one of their phone mounts that they have.
That's magnet.
It's a mag mount.
Okay.
So personally, I just put my phone here. I never street drive the car, but if I do, I can always put it right there.
Cool.
If you're, say, running a different ECU like a Apexi Power FC, you can always use that mount for your controller.
Right. Okay.
So it's a phone mount, but you can also use it for anything that you want.
So speaking about ECUs, what are you currently on right now?
I am currently on an ECU Masters EMU Black. I hadn't had any problem with it. It's been great. I got another one for my buddy's car. He's going to be running that as well.
Nice.
Honestly, ECU is just preference.
Yeah, right.
I would run, if I was going to build something else, I'd probably run a Link just because my tuner loves Link.
Okay.
So, basic rule of thumb, when you're trying to tune a car, if you can get an ECU that your tuner loves, get that ECU because he'll make it do whatever you want it to do.
For sure. Absolutely.
Setup is a 17-18 double staggered.
Okay. 17 front, 18 in the rear.
Yep. Currently, I'm running a Valina on the front. It's been great. I think this is like 200 tread wear.
Okay.
I recently started using Zestinos in the rear.
Okay.
And I love these tires. Best tires I've ever driven on. Right now, it's the 340 tread wear.
Nice.
I think I'm going to hop up to the 300 tread wear just to see how I like that grip. Have 8 of these wheels.
Okay.
Actually, I think I have 10 of them.
Holy crap. So you're always running the same exact wheel in the back.
I'm always running usually the same wheel in the back. I bought these wheels from Jason Kim.
Okay.
4 years ago.
Okay.
And I bought 6 from him, and they were all 18s. We like running 17s in the front just because of the little steering angle thing.
Yep.
So I tracked down a pair of 17s, which worked out perfectly.
Nice.
It's not often you can find 17 18s in a 3-piece wheel that look exactly the same.
Yeah, the car definitely looks badass.
I think it's about a 17.9 plus 15 in the front, and then usually an 18.10 plus 15-ish in the rear.
Okay.
I think these are a little weaker But like I said, I have a bunch of them.
Yeah, for
Whatever
sure.
fits, fits.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's cool that you have a lot of them. So, what body kit is this thing on? Or as far as I know, it's
This
probably different pieces here and there. But what are you running?
So actually everything on this, well, not everything. I've changed a few things, but as far as bumpers and side skirts, it's Fine Line Tuning's like D-Max style kit.
Okay.
People will hate that it's not a real kit, but honestly, if you look at the thing, it's been destroyed multiple
It's a
times.
drift car.
It's a drift car. If it was a show car, I'd get it, but so it's a Fine Line kit, Fine Line roof wing, and I guess the only real piece of aero is my trunk wing. That's actually an Origin. So I got that painted, and you can,
Nice.
if you look real close, there's like a subtle lace to the
Oh
top.
shit! It's badass. It's cool.
Got the Crescent Racing toe straps front and rear, and obviously you gotta rep the motor, man. Toe's
Right.
best.
What overs are these? Did you mention that?
Overs are also Fine Line,
Oh,
so they're
nice.
also
Okay.
Fine Line 55 mil front
Cool.
and rear.
Who did
The
the?
hood, I have no idea what kind of brand it is. I totally forgot.
Hey, that's okay. It's definitely badass hood, anyways. So you got to do a couple cutouts to fit the JZ in there.
Mm-hmm.
Also had to lift the hood, do some hood risers, right?
Yep, some hood risers and cut the hood. I could probably gotten away without doing the hood risers. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of them, but if I drop the back of the hood, I'm gonna have to cut more of the vents out, and
Yeah.
it's not fun to do.
Yeah,
This
for sure.
works.
Okay. Now moving on to the interior. Who did the cage?
So DefWorks did the cage.
Okay.
It's a very simple cage, but it is supposed to pass FD Tech.
It's beautiful.
So when I got the cage made, I wanted to be able to pass any tech that I needed to without a problem, but also didn't want anything too intricate. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an 8-point cage.
Okay.
Full roll cage with the anti-intrusion bars. Ladder bars for the door, just extra support. So in those tandem crashes, your legs are safe.
Nice.
Rear seat delete stuff, I made that myself with an angle grinder. It wasn't the easiest thing, but back then I was very motivated and determined. So the parcel shelf part is actually made out of aluminum.
Looks good.
Which is normal. Seat delete, people think I'm crazy. It's actually stainless.
Okay.
Cutting that was not fun.
I bet not. Jesus. So you got some Yashio Factory LZ collab harnesses. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Picked those up. Was trying to win, I think, a Supra at the time.
Yeah, right.
I didn't win a Supra.
We did not win a Supra.
We did
That's
not win
okay.
a Supra, but we have some harnesses.
Oh, forgot to talk about what mirrors are these?
These are Aero 23 mirrors.
Okay.
So again, with the replica parts, they're not real Ganadors.
I mean, hey, if you're smashing into people's doors, you don't want to be smashing your mirrors, right?
So I've actually, if you look over here, there's a big old dent in my door, and the mirror is kind of scuffed up because I did have a little crash, and it sure enough it broke some of the tabs off the mirror.
Yep.
If I had real Ganadors, I'd be really sad about that, but it was all right with these.
Cool. And what dash are you running? What?
This is a stock S13 dash, so I always forget to mention this, but that's my biggest flex. It's an uncracked S13 dash, which is unheard of. And yep, I cut an uncracked dash to fit around a roll cage.
That's okay. That's okay. What is this digital dash system?
So that is a power tune dash.
Okay.
It's from what I believe, the cheapest digital dash in the market.
Okay.
It all runs off of a CAN bus system, so you can hook it up to any ECU, and it does whatever you want. You can program it to do crazy things. I'm sure some of you guys have seen the cool KFC bucket guy when you're hitting limiter. That's that dash.
Okay.
I don't have anything set up like that. I'm not a computer guy, so I don't know how to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's the cool thing about it. There's so many options.
You did do some of the wiring, if not all of it yourself, right?
I did all the wiring to myself. So
nice.
When I bought the car originally in 2019, it was a bare shell.
Okay.
Nothing done to it, no cage, nothing. I ripped all the wiring out, ripped all the sound deadening, and built it from the ground up pretty much. And I wanted to learn how to wire. So we're running an ARC switch panel, and we wired the entire chassis off of that. It was a learning curve. In my opinion, today, I don't think the wiring is good enough. I think it's a little messy, but
Okay.
just because I work with Rival AutoWorks, we do wiring a lot. So with what I know now, I would redo this and do it way differently.
Yeah.
But it works, so why change it?
Right. It works. Don't mess with it.
Exactly.
But obviously, learning the skill set over the years is definitely it's improved, right? So if you
Mm-hmm.
ever want to do it again later on, you know you can do better. So
Exactly.
that's cool. And what are your future plans with the car? What do you want to do with it?
So right now, the biggest change or the most recent change I'm thinking about doing is changing my dual caliper setup.
Okay, what dual caliper setup is it right now?
Right now it's on a Villains kit. It runs, I think it's a Volkswagen caliper, and it's been perfect. I have no problems with it at all. My issue is, for some reason, I keep breaking seals on my stock caliper for the foot brake.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna change to a GK Tech knuckle just because it does have better geometry, more grip,
Okay.
but also will allow me to run dual Z32s without having a crazy bracket.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Other than that, just keep going until it's not enough, I guess.
Yeah.
I crashed the back a few times, so the moment that becomes a little too mangled, then we'll probably back half it, fuel cell.
Cool.
But we'll save that for when we absolutely need it.
What does the trunk setup currently look like right now?
Say that again?
What's currently in the trunk right now?
Currently in the trunk
What do you got hiding in there?
is a big water tank. So let me grab the key. So like I said with the water sprayers, to keep the coolant temps low.
Yeah, I had the water sprayers up there off the intercooler, so
we also have a 10-gallon water tank in the back. And obviously this is not a 240, this is a Toyota.
This is true.
Big old RV water pump, and that feeds the sprayers in the front to keep the car cool. I used to have like a basic 1-gallon windshield washer, like reservoir type thing, but during the hot days when you're constantly using it, having to refill a bottle sucks. So now we have 10 gallons and we don't have to worry about it. It'll last a day.
Whew. That's badass. And you said you want to start competing with it. What competitions do you want to do?
I'm thinking about doing the Drift Roulette series.
Okay.
It seems like a good competition to like dip your feet in.
Yeah.
I wanted to do Hot Pit back when they first started. Then I just kept pushing it. I'm like, oh, I'll do it next year.
Now there's a bunch of pro drivers.
And I'm not too sure if my skill set is good enough. It could be, but I've never competed before, so I figured I'd dip my toes into something a little more grassroots type.
I hear you.
And we'll go from there.
You never know until you try, right?
Exactly.
But at least the grassroots stuff will be fun, not as overwhelming, right? To get into.
Less
That'd
serious.
be cool. I'm excited to see you out there, and I know you're going to kill it. You're definitely a good driver, so.
Thank you.
Did notice the LZ wheel.
I do have the LZ wheel. Bought that about 3 years ago when they had a little sale going when they first came out. So I was like, I gotta hop on one of those.
What hydro and shifter is this?
So this is a Cooler Works shifter. The reason why I love that shifter so much is because it has lockouts for reverse and fifth gear. So there's almost no way you can miss shift. If you miss shift with this shifter, you're doing something wrong. It's a Part Shop Max hydro, the reverse pull, I think is what they call it.
Okay.
Everything is hidden. The master cylinder, the reservoir is hidden under the dash. So the only thing you see is the pole coming out of the center. And it's worked great. I've had it in that actual hydro was in my FC back in the day. And I just moved it over to this car and it's still working flawlessly.
Cool. Anything else you want to talk about the car? Any other little details we missed that I didn't catch?
I think that's about it. Everything else is a little minor. I try to seal off the cab as best as I can to keep the smoke out. It doesn't help.
Okay.
Yes.
Does it help a little bit?
Maybe a little bit, but when you're throwing a smoke show out there, it all finds its way into the cab. So,
damn.
I guess that's it.
Trying to get a cool shot with you in the plane. Cool. Well, I wanted Chris to take me for a ride along this thing, but unfortunately, he was telling me as he mentioned, the brake seals are bad, so we can't. But we are going to throw some clips of this thing ripping on the track. It's a super rad car. It definitely rips on track. So we'll definitely put in some clips right there. But I do want to say thank you, Chris, for taking the time out of your day to come out here and talk about the car with me. It's a beautiful car, and I've known Chris for probably like seven years or so from the skate park.
If you want to top that, I think it was more than 7 years.
It might be like 7. It might be like 8, 9, maybe 10 years because we've been going to the skate park since we were kids.
Exactly.
So.
This guy actually taught me how to backflip on a scooter.
Did I?
You did.
Really? Where were we at?
We were at Scooter Zone.
Okay.
The foam pit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I was doing it to the foam pit, and you're like, dude, you got it. Just send it. I'm like, all right.
Love that. That's funny. Yeah, we've had some good memories for sure, but we've been friends for a while, so it's always cool seeing what he's been doing with his cars. He's had a lot of cool cars over the years, a bunch of badass stuff. So yeah, it's always cool seeing his stuff. But I'm glad we got a chance to talk about this car. And I know you plugged your auto transport company earlier. This is also his Instagram page right here. I'll put that up on the screen. I'll also put it in our descriptions below. But once again, thank you, KUYA. I appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
Thank you, boss.